So, what do you think about this, like, celebrity boxing, influencer boxing? Are you into it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent?
Yes and no.
Yeah,
kind of back to what his question was, and I never answered it, about the trash talk. It's hard to say. Listen, when the guys can actually back it up, I don't mind it. You know, it's kind of like that. I love that quote that Tyson has about the internet. Is that, you know, it gave a lot of people the chance to talk a lot of shit without getting punched in the face, right? Well, a lot of these guys who are doing it now, I get calls from YouTubers nonstop. I got one today. He'll be coming down, I think, tonight to just check out the facility. But they all want to do it, right? And then they get there and go, oh, my God, this is real. And I'm like, yeah, like, did you not think it was, you know? And it's amazing how disrespectful they can be. And I feel like going, hey, kid, like, I had a kid call me about 2 months ago. He's been really rude on the phone. He said, well, I want to come down and spar. So I said, well, what's your experience? He said, well, I've done a little bit. I said, well, bro, I said, if you're looking for sparring at my gym with some of the kids I train, I'm like, you're not ready for this. And he's like, is that the way you talk to people? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you know, just like said, like, if I come down there, like these kids, I go, let me give you a heads up. I said,
what was the YouTuber's name?
I don't want to say it, but
you
I can
can
tell you
just
this.
say it. You can say
his
it.
dad is an influential doctor in Lakewood Ranch, so I'm thinking, all right, this little shithead is a little, you know, probably going to pull up on an awesome BMW, never had a blister in his hand, has never started a lawnmower, right? And he thinks he's coming to my gym where I got the kid who just escaped Cuba to come over here to fight on our team.
And the mighty love bug.
Yeah.
Right?
And you want my kids to be nice to you.
I got
So I said to him,
Scarface.
I said, okay. I said, all right, listen, bud, let me start this over. Hey, buddy, what's your, you know, level of boxing? Come on down to my class, and then I'll see where you're at. And when I see where you're at, I'll put a little 12-year-old in and tell him to go easy on your ass. Dude, he was so mad, right? He was so mad, but I'm like, what are you thinking? Because he called me up and he said he wanted like a fake spar match. I said, you want a fake spar match, but you calling a real boxing gym and calling out real boxers.
Oh, so he could get footage
He
for
was
like
trying to
his.
stage some shit.
And I said,
Yeah.
I called up my brother. So me and my brother, we love doing this. I called my brother and said, hey, do me a favor. I said, call this kid up and say, hey, my brother's a real asshole. Come on down to my gym. I'll take care of you. Put him in with like your chubbiest little guy and just let him pummel his ass. And then make our kid famous on YouTube. Or, you know what I mean? We're going to make you famous by letting you come down and look good against one of our kids. Why don't, since you think you're already famous on YouTube, why don't we just beat the shit out of you and hopefully our kids get a lot of views? Thank you. You know? I mean, that's how I see it. But it's just, listen, the Jake Paul thing, I will say this about Jake Paul, and I said this for a long time. I won money on his fights. He tries hard.
Who was the last guy who just fought? It was like the quiet dude in the trash talk. Like, he doesn't give him much. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Tommy, was it
Or
Tommy
what was
Fury?
it? Logan Paul, maybe?
Logan Paul fought. I forget who it was, but they
That
had some
wasn't-
good fights. But here's the problem: Jake Paul is a clever guy, obviously, right? He has not fought a true boxer yet, except for Tyson Fury's younger brother, who is not even a true boxer. He was actually a star off reality TV who decided I can also make some money boxing because who my brother is. He's not a legit boxer. He's he's a C- boxer, and he could beat him. But Jake Paul is really smart at choosing his opponents and choosing guys who aren't worth anything in the world of boxing. You know, we always say this in the world of fighting. It's who you fought, right? Not what your record is. Because there's guys out there. When I first come out of the gates, I think I was 10-0. I was ranked right behind Roy Jones Jr. My first fight, I come out of the gates. My first fight was for Golden Boy Promotions in Tallahassee. I go up. I scouted this guy. He's 2-0. KO's the guy that night. I'm like, all right, big guy, undefeated. But man, I'll whoop his ass. I killed him in 74 seconds. My pro debut for Golden Boy Promotions. My second fight, I go to West Virginia. They're like, if you can box, you'll beat this guy. He's 3-0. I outboxed him. 3-0. So it's who you fought. And I always say this, like, there's guys out there. One of my toughest fights, no bullshit, the guy was 6-18. And when I looked at who he fought, I was like, oh, my God, I'm in for a fight. Because this guy went to war with all these tough guys. So I go out there, and I beat him. Outboxed him. It was a good fight. Very next fight, he beats the guy 19-0 right after he beat me. Now, the guy who was 19-0, his managers looked at him and said, oh, look at his record. He's 6-19. They weren't clever enough to look up who he fought, how he went. He's not getting KO'd by these guys. He's going the distance with them. He's getting his training in the ring against like studs. And so right after I beat him. He beat Sammy Retta, who's 19-0. And so, but back to the YouTube thing. I mean, it's great for some ways. We are getting some new viewers, but also, too, it's kind of watering down the sport. I started training just recently Al Heyman's partner, who is the manager of Floyd Mayweather. He just moved to town, so I train him now. And so at first the guy walks in and tells you, like, oh, no. I look him up, I'm like, holy crap, this is legit. This guy is really cool. So him and I have this great relationship. He knows a lot about boxing, so do I. He spun it to me this way, and he has the right, and we always thought so too. When you're a UFC fighter, you fight for UFC. The problem with the world of boxing right now is can you all name the heavyweight champ right now? Anybody?
I know what you're talking about.
We don't know.
There's no promotion. There's no
WBC.
centralization.
There's the WBA. There's the IBF. There's WBO belt. And everybody's like, who's the champ? And then also too, it's not on regular TV enough. And when they do post it, they'll post, oh my God, check out this from the 1979 Ali versus Frazier. And it's like, okay, but that was 79. Put on some of the new stuff so these kids can kind of start seeing who they are.